Thank you.
Senator from South Carolina.
Well, thank you, Senator Kennedy and Senator Martinez. I'm in my 5th year of my first term, and we're finally dealing with an issue that I think the country would love have dealt with years ago. We're on the verge of doing something big and important. There are many reasons why you never do the big things and the hard things. That's why they stay unresolved. The country's running out of time on this particular issue to think of reasons why we won't solve this problem. Before 9/11, I would argue that illegal immigration was a social and economic problem. After 9/11, I would argue it's a national security problem. We have millions of people in our country roaming around. We don't know who they are and what they're up to. The good news is most of them are here, unfortunately illegally, to work and try to make something of themselves and add value to our economy. It's clear from Fort Dix, New Jersey, and maybe other things to come, that some people are here illegally that are up to no good. They want to hurt us. The hijackers on 9/11, all of them came here. Most of them overstayed the visas. They didn't come across the border. They had 4 or 5 fake driver's licenses. It should be a wake-up call to this country that we have people in our midst that we don't know who they are, and there's no way to find out who they are. The one thing that every member of the Senate, I hope, will agree upon is if you wanted to, you could get a Social Security card made by midnight tonight somewhere that would pass for the real thing. And when you drive by a construction site and you see people working who are Hispanic or other folks that you think are here outside the country, I bet you every employer has documentation on file that appears to be legal. It is almost a nightmare for employers to comply with the current system. People tell me enforce the law. If you can enforce this law, you're doing better than anybody since 1986. There's a reason that this has happened. Why do 12 million people come here? Because we don't have a way to bring people here legally so they can work in a legal status. There are not enough Americans doing these jobs. Unemployment is below 5%. It is illogical to say that this workforce, this illegal workforce, has driven Americans out of work. We're at historically low unemployment. We need workers. But what we need more than anything else is we need to be able to secure our border, control who comes on our terms, have verifiable information about what status you're in, because if we don't do that, then what happened on 9/11 is more likely to happen again. So there are many reasons to say no to this bill. There are many reasons to say no to someone else's proposal, but there is no good reason to not solve this problem. And I do hope that those who come down on the floor to amend this bill to make it better, that you will lead us to a better solution. Those who come down on the floor with the goal of taking this bill down, I hope you feel some obligation to substitute it with something else that could pass. Democracy is a wonderful thing. I was at my state convention and a lady told me, I don't like compromise. I said, well, don't run for office. Because this is all about compromising, isn't it, Senator Kennedy? It really is. What I like about my country is that Republicans, Democrats, and Independents historically have been able to do the hard things to make us a better nation. To my friend from Florida, Senator Martinez, you've been a delight to work with. Breaking the law is something that's occurred in large proportion when it comes to immigration. The reason people have been breaking the law to this extent is that the rest of us haven't been that excited about enforcing it. I think the rest of us have sort of looked the other way and allowed the illegal immigration problem to grow because we haven't asked the hard questions about where are all these people coming from and what are they doing. There are a lot of people, to their credit, have been very upset about this issue for a very long time. I think many people in this country have gotten the benefit of this illegal workforce in terms of the labor and sort of turned their eye, and now everybody's looking at it anew. To those who have been shouting from the rooftops that the immigration system is broken, you have done us a great service. To those who believe that illegal immigration is a national security threat, an economic threat, a social threat, you've done us a great service. But you're not going to do us a great service if you just shout about the problem. I want you to do more than tell me it's broken and it's fixed. I want you to do more than just tell me Lindsey Graham and Ken Zalazar's got it wrong. I want you to do what we've done. That's the only thing I ask of any colleagues and any of my colleagues. Sit down with a Democrat and a Republican, try to fix it, and good luck. Because it's hard. And you can come here. You're right to come here and amend this bill and change it. And take the floor and tell us why we've got it wrong. I'll listen. If we can fix it, we will. But do more than just tell me where I'm wrong. Do more than just tell the American public, we got to do something about this illegal immigration problem. Do more than just shout amnesty. If you think saying amnesty absolves you from having to participate in this debate, you're wrong. This debate is about the future of the United States when it comes to our national security, our employment needs, our ability to compete with the world for the labor force that exists. And at the heart of this debate, it is about who we are as a people. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to read a report issued by the government about immigrants. And some of it's very, very tough. Let me give you a preview. As a class, the new immigrants are largely unskilled laborers coming from countries where the highest wage is small compared to the lowest wage in the United States. They bring little money into the country, and they send or take a considerable part of their earnings out. More than 35% are illiterate as compared with less than 3% of the old immigrant class. The new immigration movement is very large. There are a few, if any, indications of its natural abatement. The new immigration coming in such large numbers has provoked a widespread feeling of apprehension to its effect on the economic and social welfare of the country. They usually live in cooperative groups and crowd together. Consequently, they have been able to save a greater part of their earnings, much of which is sent or carried abroad. Moreover, there's a strong tendency on the part of the unaccompanied men to return to the native countries after a few years of labor here. These groups have little or no contact with American life, learn little of American institutions, and aside from the wages earned, profit little by their stay in the country. Unquestionably, the hordes of immigrants that are coming here have a good deal to do with crimes against women and children. You will notice these particular crimes are done by fellows who can't talk the English language. Now, this is a government report about the effect of immigrants, the new immigrants on our country. These quotes were taken in 1910 from the Dillingham report. And one of the senators on that commission was from South Carolina. And it went on, and I'll talk more about it, to talk about how these immigrants are ruining America. They live among themselves. They have disease, they won't learn our language, and they commit crime. And they're a burden on society, and we need to do something about it. The report was begun in 1910. It was finally issued in 1913. The people they were talking about became the greatest generation.